Okay, so it's just a little after 4, and I got some confirmations this morning. I swear to God, my confirmations just roll in. But but what was I gonna say? I was about to say, oh, but I was thinking, well, nothing spectacular happened for me yesterday. Like, it was kind of the same old. And, but, I don't know, because it's easy to get caught up in like, oh, that was supposed to be the day that opened up the portal so we could go into our best life, and now it's past and I'm still in the same one. Then it can make you feel down. And so that's why you can't get caught up in all that stuff. Like, we don't know what it's going to do. It's no matter what each little thing does, it's like the greetings, it's like the passing by, it's like the transits. And no matter what they look like when we're in them, when we get past them and we look back, things will make much more sense. And then we will know the date. We'll know the date once the date happens of change, where, and it would be like pretty crazy if it was just all of a sudden the pole shifted on a certain date like that, because the planetary alignment, there's way more lining up than just that. And the planets are kind of going out of alignment or something. They're kind of just, I don't know. I'm telling you, the sky looks like there is multiple skies merging into one sky. There was some conversation I had yesterday with my mom, something about the sky. I don't remember what it was now, but something with the sky. But anyways, nobody sees what I see. There's no moon again. No moon, no matter, unless it's way over there and I can't see because it's on the other side of the house, but there's no light. But it's not so overcast you can't see these stars or ships or whatever. They're up there blinking, and even the little faraway red ones, you see those ones. So I don't know. There's weird shit going on, and we don't really know what it is. It's going to be the thing that's going to just turn everything around, but that's coming. So no matter what dates come and go, and no matter how much excitement gets involved around each date, you just got to keep going with the flow, keep going with the flow, and know what's up ahead. I see it kind of like a river going, and it has these things that happen along the way, but still, just because these things happen and they don't go, into what we hope they'll go to, that doesn't mean that the thing we're hoping for isn't up ahead. These are just the things like in preparation. So, and it's like preparing people for what's to come, for the inevitable, for the future and stuff. So it's like necessary. So anyways, I have a few things that come in my head, but let's do this hair thing and two thing first again. And I left a link. Crystal wanted to know what the hair stuff was called, so I left a link in yesterday's comments if you want to get it and try it. So anyways, we'll see. I keep feeling like it does look kind of like darker, so we'll see how it works. But yeah, poor nutrition and shit. Everybody's hair is falling out. Everybody's sickly. Everybody's aging faster because of poor nutrition. And, I just think like, fuck, man. The, like, you think about the teenagers now getting to be the age that I am, and I'm like, oh my God, they won't have any hair. They wouldn't have any self-esteem. They wouldn't have any health. Like, fuck, man. Oh, because the dilapidation of nutrition and stuff. But there would be this happy pill or something. There would be some introduction to something that everybody would take, and that would stop working. Then everybody would take this. So it would just be more, just really the testing. But it's like, oh man, yeah, because like, okay, because there's these other studies that I've heard about, creepy studies like in Area 51 and stuff. And there was this one in particular where a scientist, because they get real stuck on this creating this super soldier and mind controlling us and all that stuff. And I just heard a mind control one, and I'll tell that one too, because this one is older, and she was a daughter, and I think she may have, I don't know, maybe she was hard to deal with or something, I don't know, but they took her to this testing thing, and they started doing all this stuff to her, and to try and make her, it's like under mind control, but it's also the super soldier, like you put the mission first. Like, you don't care about yourself. You only care about the mission. And they try and make super strength and stuff like that. And which, even if you just think about, there was, what was that stuff called? Wasn't meth. It was, I knew somebody who smoked it. It was real bad. It was called Sherms. PCP. PCP. There was a drug that became popular for a while back, how old was I? My late 20s. And I even did it one time to see, because I was like that. I tried everything. What does this do? That's why you find me like, I'll try it. Yep, especially the stuff that could be good for you. Like, I've kind of changed that in me. But before, I was like, yeah, whatever. So I, when I smoked it, it was with a group of people and we were driving down the street. When I smoked it, everything just turned weird looking, kind of like now. Maybe that's it. Maybe they're fucking spraying us with PCP. Maybe that's it. Some of us are like, whoa, this is looking trippy, man. What's happening? I was like, could be. I wouldn't put anything past them, I'll tell you that. So, nothing, not a motherfucking thing. So she, but the pictures I saw, which I don't know, people pull out these old pictures and stuff, I don't know, but her hair had fallen out, she looked crazy-eyed, she was so pale and white, and she lived down in these cell thing, and she escaped, and when she escaped, she killed a bunch of the guards when she did, and went crazy. And this is always in these old movies, Frankenstein, all these old movies. You know, they're working it, trying to create the perfect person, and then the person wakes up and gets pissed and kills them all. So she did that. And then I don't know, I don't remember the rest. If she is on the loose and you got to watch out which forest you go into because she's out there roaming them, or if they took her down. No matter what, they always spin a story anyways. They just come up with one so that we just go, oh, okay. We just move on. And there's some of these stories right now. Okay, there's several things, and I don't see the connection right now. Well, we'll see where it goes. But several stories. So, oh yeah, the tooth too. Let's do that. Definitely when I was looking last night, still is in the tent snoring. When I looked at it last night, I was like, yeah, it totally looks now like there's like this chunk edge out, and the grayish color is the deeper parts, and then the orange part. But yesterday when I was looking in the mirror, it was like it was changing colors again. So it just keeps going through these stages. So anyways, it's definitely growing back. And so that's growing back. I think my hair's growing in. We'll see. But I swear to God, I take a lot of shit, man. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's see, where am I going first? Was I going to still go in that direction of what I was about to say a second ago? Let me see what comes the most forward. Okay, this video I just saw is like I keep seeing. So it was another one of these, because these people who get really caught up in the buildings and the architecture and the lies that we've been told in our history. And usually you find stuff about Tartaria and all that when you go into that group. And but they're showing all sorts of buildings, and then they're trying to show the history, because they keep saying like that people built the buildings. But this was kind of funny, because all the shots are staged of these people, and he was giving more history too, because it was another confirmation. I forgot about this part. Okay, so he had given another confirmation, because he said that back in the day that they would hire these people and then they would give them a church to run and they would give them a home base, and then those people were, oh, I just got a wave of something else. Okay. Those people were a part of the what now we would consider the human trade industry or something. But then it was kind of like their reset. So they would be like by asylums and orphanages and stuff like that, which a lot of the people were being used, but they would get used for experiments too. But they would get them and then ship them out stuff. So these people, that's like what I said. Like, this is such confirmation, because they said this is how they would do stuff. They put like every township that's ever evolved into anything, there is somebody there who was sent there to control that down. And it is often found through the church and some family that's got all the money. And it's not by accident. It's all over the place. And so that's what this guy was, and he was exposing some of this guy, but then he was showing the ridiculousness of this crew that he had in this building they supposedly had built. This is this fantastic Coliseum giant build, all this crazy stuff. It's got like 4 black guys out there with doing pictures and trying to look busy, and he said it's obvious that they're not building this. And he said, but at the same time, a couple of other guys, because this is they're training people at this place to get them ready for, the civilization thing. We'll put masters out there that know how to do all this stuff. Is that what they're kind of marketing? And so they're showing him like they built this building, but then they showed some other people on the crew, and they said they built Abe Lincoln's cabin. And it took them 2 years. They supposedly built this whole building, though, in like 36 days or something. I don't know. No, maybe that was a different one. Oh, yeah, that was the ice something. Then they supposedly built it in 36 days. But this one, I don't remember how long they said this one took. Not very long. Not as long as Abe Lincoln's cabin, I think. It took them 2 years, and it's just like what I had said a couple weeks ago, where I said, oh, so at the same time they're building these rudimentary like cabins, they're going in and building these elaborate fucking coliseums. Like, okay. And so anyways, that was the absurdity it was showing, and I had said that, I talked about that a while ago. But anyways, that was like a confirmation. Another confirmation, another one too, is like, I swear to God, there's like a spiritual or religious intoxication syndrome. Like, people just become, the saints and the saviors. It's crazy. But yeah, there's lots of people who, and I don't know what they're doing to save the world. Maybe they are out there saving the world. But anyways, but the stuff, like, just because someone says they are, you don't have to buy in. Everything will play out. It will become clear. It's not going to be like you're going to have to guess like who you want to follow and who you don't want to follow when things start going in a new direction. It's like there's an old direction and there's a new direction, and things will become clear. But part of it will be noticing what it is in you of how you pick to follow. So it's like clearing things up in you, so you're not like a dependency kind of follower or something. Like, my mom noticed, like, she has certain people who will ask her things, and then they'll keep asking, well, where's that? Well, how do you find that? Well, what do you do? And it's like, that's a stage, man. That is a stage in the thing. And but you got to keep your boundaries. You got to just keep putting it on them, because like I said before, I think I said this already, was at some point then you want to go look up stuff, you want to look for the stuff, you want to know for your, but then at some point also then you start seeing, well, it's all lies. I'm sitting here looking at a bunch of bullshit. Like, what's the fucking point? Just let it go. It's all going to play out. It's all going to be clear. It's not something that, well, we need to figure it out ahead, so no, it's all going to become clear. all the things that we're trying to control and hold on. Those are lessons. Those are things that we just haven't seen yet, I think. Which, okay, this one. Candace Owens. So one of the things that she's exposing right now is, I think it's right now, sounded like it was just right now, is this ship. Okay, so it's one of the guys, because when they told you, when things happened and you were in the military and stuff, and they told you, you know, you're not allowed to talk about this, you're not allowed to talk about it with anybody, not each other, nothing, or you're done for, then they knew that meant that they go do them in. Like, there was enough of that going on, apparently, that the people knew it was serious business. And so people held these secrets. Like, I think fucking, what's his name, the astronaut guy, Buzz Lightyear, whatever the hell his name is, that he's always out there, like, and he's said some things, well, we didn't ever really go, and stuff. You know, he's dying to tell the truth, I swear to God. He may have spilt a few, and maybe they just put it under, well, he's getting a little senile. But anyways, I think he's real sick of living a lie. It's going to become more and more uncomfortable to live a lie. It just is. That energy's changing. And so it's going to become like sitting on the hot seat. So anyways, these whistleblowers, they come out, because there's other ones too that have talked about things, but this one is talking about the ship he was on, and it was supposed to be in free waters and all this stuff, and they went and they were supposed to be watched over, but then the real ships or planes attacked them, and you can go watch her thing about it. But so they got attacked by the real, and Lyndon B was in the office, and he was like, I don't give a shit. They wouldn't do anything to help him. And he was like, well, a few dead sailors doesn't do shit. Who cares? Just move on. And so it was really bad, and all these atrocities and stuff happened, which is also with the Philadelphia Project. If you look up that one is a strong one that comes in my head. But so they left these guys on their own. They had a huge thing, tons and tons of holes in the ship, but a huge one on the side. And they were, the guy who's talking said, I think they were hoping we would sink and just disappear. And but they didn't. So the next day, somehow they were rescued, and a whole bunch. That's when they were told you're not allowed to talk about it and stuff. But anyways, that she is breaking this story and stuff, because that's one thing that with the religion, it is married to the blue. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it's because it's marketed as the chosen ones, but there's so much more to the whole thing. It's like the chosen is the beard for these. It's like it's so insidious, and yeah. Because then I was just seeing the Bible being updated for this reset, and certain things being put in there, because it's so well formed of mind control. And so anyways, and I don't know, what all, I just saw one little clip out of this, but if it's was to create war, to show that they don't protect us, they just build everything on lies. It's always about this. That's the thing about this war machine or something. This whole thing with the what is that? The war complex industry, something like that. The industrial war complex, maybe it's called, or something. And it pulls me back to Lyndon B. Johnson too, or Hoover or something. The guy with the black glasses. Is that Lyndon B. Johnson? That's who I see. Because there's another, that's Eisenhower. The little old looking guy. He's the one who sold us out from the alien people. He was the one who was like, uh, I don't know what all deals he made. Like, well, we want your technology. You can take a bunch of people, but we want your technology. But then they didn't use it for us. They used it for themselves against us. And that's, I think, part of the issue of why we're being. It's not like so much rescued, because we're not really in a place we need to be rescued from. Where it's kind of like throwing a thing inside their little game, because we don't really need to be rescued. So it's but it's bringing light onto the storyline, because the confusion, like the confusion that people have. But again, it's not like it's wrong, because if you didn't come in to live all these different lives in a state of confusion, you wouldn't be as interjected in the part. You would not to feel like you're playing a part or a role would be like a distraction. You have to be the part. You have to feel the part. And so living through life cycles of reincarnation and experiencing it, it wasn't meant to be like, well, you were supposed to wake up. You should have woke up 500 years ago. Like, I'm sure we'll have people saying that, but that's not true. This isn't like, well, you should have woke up a long time ago. You should have done this a long time ago. No, this is a time and place. This is when it's supposed to happen. And the people who aren't awake right now, they're not doing anything wrong. They're going to wake up at the perfect time to really slap them in the ass. It's supposed to wake you up where it's going to be a significant thing in your life. What was mine? Oh, yeah. Because when mine happened and I started saying, well, for one thing, when I started going outside and I started telling people nothing looks right, everything, it looks like we're in a 3D picture. And then when I started saying, like, the media's lying and the good guys, the bad guys, the good guys and stuff, then the reaction that I got, you're crazy. That's when you start having to heal, like, nobody respects me. Everybody thinks I'm a crazy nut. Those things. So you'll be handed the things you need to heal, or you can sit back and whine and cry and tell everybody's a fucking idiot and they're stupid and fight. And what's the point? They just can't see it, and they can't see it no matter how many times you show them, because they're not awake yet. They have their time to wake up. And then you get to see this part of yourself of like, why was I thinking that I needed to wake them up? Why would I think that that's my role? This religious, spiritual intoxication syndrome or whatever. But when you realize, like, everything has this transit perfect timing. Everybody has a time that they'll wake up at perfect timing for them and their storyline. So it's not for us to, and when we find ourselves freaking, that's for us to see about ourselves. And so you see the things that you need to work on is how things affect you. And so you work on you is always, to me, the thing to do, because you can't fix anybody else. And everything has its time and place. There's nothing you really need to fix. That comes from your own fears, your own sense of the need to control and stuff like that. Those are things that you need to work on. You sit back and go like, why do I feel like I got to control this? Why do I feel like I've got to wake them up? Because they're going to feel like there's going to be a huge sense of humiliation and embarrassment by a lot of the people who are asleep. So you're going to get your day of seeing, yeah, stupid idea. But I wouldn't I wouldn't kick somebody when they're down. It's going to be all the kicking's going to be going up in here and in here. And this is going to be a big, that's what it's going to be, like this big heart chakra and crown chakra opening kind of thing at once or something. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be painful. And that's where people will really understand, like, that they're a soul. There's going to be something that's like this snap of happening. And it's like this plugging in, this opening. And so it's coming. It's coming. And I think that's what's called the Great Awakening. Those of us who woke up early, there's a reason for it. And it's going to be I think people see, like, they're going to be helping people in the community, helping people with what they're going through because of what they learned through their awakening. But there's also going to be the people who just stomped and cried and argued with everybody or went into ego. They were better than everybody or whatever. And those people, they all will have something to face too. There's going to be something, so that they didn't stick with their healing and stuff. They got all like jacked up on themselves. Then those people, they still have something to heal. So you'll see it play out. Something's gonna happen. It's gonna play out. But so anyways, Candace is exposing that thing. I heard last time before I went to bed that she's exposing RFK and his sexting thing too. And so the people are like, oh my God, we were so close to not having poison in our food. And now he's being exposed for this sexting some blonde, blonde's going to ruin it all for us or something. And to me, I don't give a motherfucking, find a goddamn adult that has not been married or been in a relationship and has been attracted or sexting with somebody else. Like, are you fucking kidding me? We got bigger problems than the goddamn fucking guy who's trying to focus on health is sexting somebody. I don't give a good goddamn. What the fuck, man? That's between him and his wife. It's between, I mean, it's kind of sad for some people because their public thing gets them so exposed to everybody and everybody thinks that they can jump on board and judge, but it has nothing to do with any of us. What it does have to do with us is healthy fucking food. And so we'll see how this plays out. I swear to God, everything is this. It's an opportunity to see where you fall with this shit. And in this world full of fucking motherfucking pervs, like, if it doesn't come out that he's like humping kids all day long and selling them on the fucking market, and I don't care. If she's an adult and he's an adult and he's talking dirty and she's talking dirty, I don't give a fuck. I swear to God, let him do his goddamn job. It's like, Jesus Christ. And that's where the fucking, there are so many things, I swear to God, people don't even realize, well, what is living supposed to be about? I mean, it's all about just winding it up. Don't do this. That's bad. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. You gotta be perfect. It's like, bullshit. Bullshit. I swear to God, even on this fucking, the one guy, I was listening to his video, and he's talking to people who have the C. And I can share the thing, but you can't eat anything. There's nothing you can motherfucking eat. You're just feeding the beast. You have got to just fast. There's a few things, but I swear to God, everything we motherfucking eat is bad for us. Every fucking thing. And but there is a big thing though about the fats, and something about the fats. And what did I say? I said I think the fats is super important. And this was another confirmation thing because I've been saying this for a long time about the fats, and it always comes to me about, I always see this tribe eating the whale fat, and I always feel very drawn to fats. Like, even when my parents would, they would make steak, and it would always smell good. Back in the fucking 70s and shit, people were constantly grilling, and I think they probably had more real, like when you went to the grocery store, there was a butcher back there cutting up the cow. And so probably when they stopped having the butcher cut up the cow in the back is when we started eating people and dogs and all this other shit. But so anyways, it would smell really good, and they would be cooking it, which I think that, as civilized beings, that we need to change some of this stuff up. But this was the past. And the fat, oh my God, the fat would get all like, it was so good. I would always want the fat. I want the fucking meat. That was gross to me. It was this chewy and I swear to God, it made me feel like a cannibal all the time. I would just be like, this is so disgusting, and just keep chewing it and chewing it. Oh, but the fat, oh, that would just like dissolve in your mouth. It was so good. And people would always tell me, oh, you can't just eat the fat. You can't just eat the fat. But I like the fat. But that is one thing that he was saying about the healthy fats. It does something to cause problems for beasts that are growing inside of us to keep us sick. But most of the stuff you're feeding it healthy stuff. Like you think, oh, well, this is healthy. This is vegetables and stuff. Well, you're giving it amino acids, you're giving it this, you're giving it that, like all this stuff. And so, but when you go into the group of people who are all into fasting, that whole group is like fucking 72 hours, your body completely heals itself. And like that's a whole movement. So I swear to God, if I had to see, which no telling how many of us do, and we don't even know, but um, I would fast. I would definitely fast. Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot. Yes. There's a new thing. So we got the horse paste. We got the Nick as a teen, about him. And now we have the chlorine. So this got my mom because she was, like I said, the TV goes all day and all night. And sometimes it's two and music. It's like my brain. Yeah. Sometimes I'll walk upstairs and the dogs will start barking. The TV's going. The music's going. My mom's on the phone. She's not even watching any of this. She's just on the phone. Or sometimes she's right up trying to see the TV because she can't see good. She's blind. She just got her eyes shot the other day, which there's a whole thing about that and the insurance shenanigans. It's fucking shenanigans all the motherfucking time, I'm telling you. And so, let me see where I was. So I started seeing the eye shot thing. Oh yeah, okay. So but when I go up there, it's like total because I don't know. You're gonna diagnose me and stuff, neurodivergent, attention like I've got all these things in my brain or whatever, and so so all of that sound is just like it's so intense, and I can't just stay up there and listen. It's like, oh my God. And then we'll start talking and it's like trying to talk over that. I don't talk that loud. It's like, oh my God, this is intense. But so she said sometimes she'll wake up in the middle of the night and start watching the TV. And she said that this interview came on and she said it caught her attention. And she even got up out of bed and got her spiral and was writing notes. So she had all these notes. So when I got up in the morning, she's telling me all this great, exciting stuff that she had just heard about. And then she went and found the thing. She'd go through her stuff and find it. So I would watch it with her. So I sat and watched it because she wanted to watch it again and she wanted me to hear. So this guy, okay, if you were with it back in 2020 and you were watching him every day, then you remember the drama around like, oh, just drink bleach, just drink the bleach, and all the absurdity that they made into that. Well, anything he says, then it's like, oh, what does he know that we don't know? But then the media takes off running, and then all the people show like, yeah, he's a stupid ass. So it all, it's where we take it. It's where we take it. And so now, this guy, so he's the one who initiated that thing. And it was initiated through, he wrote a letter to him. And this guy's got a couple books out. The guy he works with has a couple books out. And their journey started was, maybe it was back in 2002 or something. He's even interacted with Gator. And you can go watch the interview and stuff that is said. But so he was in one of those missions and was over there helping build houses in Colombia or something. And he got some kind of sickness. Oh, MRSA. It was MRSA. And they couldn't do anything. Well, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. And one of his kids was in the hospital. They were going to start cutting parts off. And I think 3 of them in his family had it. And they were like, there's nothing we can do. It's fleshy and disease. We got to just cut parts off. There's nothing we can do. And he's talking to all these different people because he's in this group of people. So he's like calling people in other countries. What, have you guys dealt with this and stuff like that? So it was somebody in one, I don't remember, Argentina's coming to my mind, but don't hold me to it. But so he calls one, and because it seems like Africa was involved too with the malaria and stuff. So and they say, oh yeah, do this. And so he did, and it was like, I don't remember, within a couple days they were all healed. And so he started trying to tell that information, and that's when he got the backlash, and that's one of his interactions with Gator. And and it was at, one of those places in Africa or something where he had that interlude. But then what he started finding is it cures every motherfucking thing. The C, Ebola, that's the one got me. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? It cured that? That is something like when I worked at the hospital, I was like, fuck, man, all these other shit. But it was the Ebola really gets it because there was times when they said it's coming. There's doctors who thought it's coming because it is a wiper outer and it's grisly. People bleeding from their eyes, and it's like with a couple days and everybody's dead and stuff. I was like, this is the shit they'll hit us with. Anyways, so this also cures out everything. And I don't remember how long it takes to do the C. I think it depends on what you got and stuff like that. But so gotta be so careful. Okay, so I'm gonna say it in kind of a weird way. You'll have to kind of put it together. Because you got the chlorine. But like how there's different things, like you got carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, so you have these different values, kind of these different interactions of these different chemicals on this table of chemicals. So this table, what is that called? The something table, but whatever it's called, it is all these different, like chlorine dioxide, um, lithium, aluminum. I think lithium is an L, aluminum's an A, and then a little L. Like they all have like a thing. Well, it's all of these are the science stuff, and then you mix them in different ways. So the two that I said, those two are mixed together and they cure everything, every motherfucking thing. And so it comes in a 2-bottle set. And my mom ordered one yesterday, and we're going to split it. And and you do 1 drop. You start with 1 drop. And so there's 2, and you have to mix it, and then they activate. And when they activate, they turn orange. Then you want to start with 1, and it's for everything. I'm going to take it and just see what happens, because, you have these little things, and it's like, and you don't know what all it is, and it clears up autoimmune stuff. I got it's like these natural things. It's just so wickedly crazy, So, um, the people who were interviewing him, they said they were doing 3 drops, but you get your big water thing, which, it's already with the copper, which to me also, you got to watch for these interactions, because don't forget, everything's a science experiment, and it seems like glass is always your safest, but my cup is steel, so I think I will probably get a glass thing to do it, and they're saying just sip it all day long. Well, that's what I do with my copper water. And so I don't know if I'll add a drop to that. This is like the science experiment we're off to figure out. Like, you know, because I know before I had a liquid oxygen, and you could just put a dropper full of that in your water and you couldn't taste anything. So I don't know. We'll see what this is. And you got to watch for these interactions though. And because there's certain ones like they can't. I think even bentonite clay, you're not supposed to use metal to stir it and stuff. So, anyways, you just gotta, there's the interactions that you gotta watch for. And so, this, they said they put 3 in their water and then they sip it all day long. They say start with 1 because it's super intense, super strong, but to do it in dogs. So I'm going to also be putting that in hers. That is one big thing. I really want to see what happens with her stuff. So we'll see. And I'm going to start out, I'll probably put a couple. I might start with 1 the first day, but I'm sure I'm going to go up to 3 or 4. They said there's something about six drops or something, and that may just be in the dog's water dish. It's Max gagging. Start puking or something. So the but there was even he in this guy's books and stuff, and his other person he works with, they've put books out about this stuff. So and his kids are in jail over it. They were imprisoned over this stuff. And you can buy it on Amazon, and they've got them in prison like drug dealers. And they're saying that they have 3 more years to go. They give them a 7-year thing. So there's a powers that be want to keep these certain people under wraps, the truth of all the truth. But the truth is flooding so bad now, it's like they can't keep up. Before, whistleblowers were just red tide. But now they're just, we're being flooded with them. So, anyways, there was a kid. It was a 4-month-old baby, and it had brain. It was no, it was liver. It was liver, CA, and a 4-month-old baby with liver. Oh, what the fuck? How can people not see this as the environment? And it's going through us into our kids, and it is so. They put 100 drops. So in his little baby bath, they didn't give him anything internally. They put 100 drops in his baby bath and let him soak in his baby bath. He's 14 years old now. So it cleared it up, the 100 drops of, and he said you absorb 80% of it through your body and stuff. So cleared up this little baby. And so that's just one of his stories. But anyways, that's another thing. Like, if you've got a bunch of sickness and stuff and you're looking for things to try, like, this is like, but it was him who, when he saw, because they, at the beginning of 2020, what we were all fighting with the flu and shit, and he saw that it was making it go away. And so that is why he sent a letter to Donald and told him with his findings and sent information. That's why Donald went online and asked all of those figurehead doctors, scientists, bullshit little frauds, that, what do you think? And they said, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. And I said, everything's like a deposition. Get them like on there saying, they've got it on camera now. We've got it on film. And this is what they said. And even if we're not seeing all that, I'm sure it's being used in court things and stuff and trials and whatnot. And some of these people may get more than one trial. They may be facing like a whole bunch of different things. Like, I don't know if they just wrap it all up in one or what. But anyways, I still say a lot of these people have already faced their thing. A lot of this stuff that we're seeing is like stuntmen or something, like the body doubles in the movie, or the or AI. It's just full out fake. So anyways, that's what I think. A lot of people have already been arrested, and I think people are becoming more and more eager for justice. People are getting really fed up that we keep getting all these crimes exposed to us, and then the people just keep on going to work. It's like we're ready for change, but there's a movement towards it. There's going to be more and more people ready, more and more people ready, more and more people noticing and seeing and getting outraged. So the bigger that outrage gets, you can tell how intense it's going to be on the planet when there's all this outrage at once. So confirmation. And so anyways, that stuff, the where he called it bleach, is, what you would, I think the letters are CH, and the other one is a big D and a small I think. And so you can look those up on the something table. God, I can see it so close. It's going to come to me. It's like hearing, but it's like hearing it in another room. Oh God, I can hear it and see it, but it's like It's weird when you're trying to pull something from a different, like, state of consciousness or something. It's weird. Periodic. Okay, got it. The periodic table. So if you go look up those two that I just said, I'm pretty sure that was the ones. The CH and the big D little I. And the C, always the little, I don't think there's any that have two big letters. They either have one letter or they have a big one and a little one. And I think that's because, you know, like the regular just one C, that's carbon. CH, that's chloride. Then you have more of them, like lithium is 1L, aluminum, the AL, the boron is, I think, one big B. So anyways, all these things, all these different minerals and shit is on this periodic table. And that's the stuff that they're, you know, it's this much, it's H2O, so it's 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen that makes up water. So, but it's a whole bunch of those. But that's when they break it down, it's 2 to 1 kind of a mystery on that thing or whatever. But see, they're always messing with everything. They're always messing with it. They mess with the water. They mess with everything, man. Whatever's natural, they fuck with it. And it's making us all sick. But we're here for this because it's, because like I've said a zillion times, there's a benefit to it. And we aren't, I was going to say we aren't stuck, but there's some people who feel stuck. But still, they're awakening too. They're awakening the fact that they've been stuck. So everybody's going to be awakening. And the whole thing is when you're awakened and you leave your body, you do, you know you're a soul. Like this isn't real. This is where the soul comes to play. This is a vacation spot for the soul. And so you don't live here and you don't die here. You don't die. That's an illusion. That is the exit of the one reality to go to another reality. And then they've built all this ceremony and this sadness around this exit. But it's different. And so anyways, there's going to be, it's so weird because everything is like these levels of stuff. Because there's so much stuff that was like perfectly fine, perfectly normal, but we're developing out of that. So where everything that was this is changing, everything is developing. And so what we, was fine to accept before, we're changing out of that and we're leaving it in the dust. We're moving on and we're going forward. And going forward is a lot of stuff is being left behind. It's like yeah, putting the good foot first. But one thing is you have to be able to see your darkness in order to let it go. You don't know that it's there. All these people don't know. They hide from their own darkness. They don't know that they have this darkness. They don't know they have these attachments to them. That there's oh, and the girl, I think this was this girl, she left me a whole bunch of messages because I had asked her, because she said she wanted a new guides or whatever it was. And I said something about, well, who's guiding you now or something, and she told me that he came to her in a dream, told her his name and stuff like that. You gotta watch out. You gotta watch out interacting with beings in dreams and shit too. Like this isn't pretend. This is real. That's your real life. The spiritual world is your real life. And just as these beings want to take us over, there's other beings around here that would, like tricking you. And it's not, considered to be an evil practice or something. It's not like these are devil, horrible monsters or something. But anyways, you gotta watch out who you interact with in your dreams and stuff. And like I wouldn't just, any old Joe Blow that comes up and starts talking to you and telling them their name and stuff, especially if it carries out. Like then they start talking to you while you're awake and shit. I don't know. I don't know. because I don't know. I know that this world is, there's a spiritual layer. And so you can totally focus on the 3D and be lost in the spiritual layer. But the spiritual layer is still going on. It's still real. You're still being fucked with in the spiritual, even if you have no awareness of it. That's real. Like, that's your real life. And this little game, it's like how much you focus on it and how much it becomes your reality. But as much as you absorb yourself into that reality, you leave all this space open for what's real. And so those people can be fucking with you. You know, because what was that? Oh, yeah. Because there's this show that I used to watch, and I think it's like on Paramount or something. I think it's still going. I saw season 1, and I was like, this is very accurate to spiritual stuff. But spiritual world, the people around us and stuff like that. And it's called Evil, I think. And I can't remember the whole premise of it. It seems kind of like it's like a medical, it's some kind of investigation thing. Maybe they've got like cops and psychics or something. I don't remember. But the other beings will fuck with you in your dreams. When you go into that certain state of mind, they can fuck with you. And they can also make you feel like that's more real. They can fuck with you in a lot of things. They can, like, just look at the stuff that they can do in movies, where somebody's sitting there eating their rice, and then they look down, and all of a sudden it looks like maggots, and they throw the bowl, and then they scream, and they jump up, and then they look down, and it's just rice. That is this something. It's the same thing as like how they can shapeshift and stuff. But see, you got to have the awareness of it. But I mean, that doesn't mean just sit and eat a bowl of something that looks like maggots to you, but you could set it down and realize like somebody's fucking with you and see. And then it's the same thing as like how, you know, somebody goes and gets an apple and takes a bite out of it, and then when they look, it's rotten. And so that stuff is real. They can do that. I don't know how it all works, but that is real, and that they can get your attention. That's like when all these ones come at me with all these eyes, which there's a whole thing about these bright blue eyes. And I have been hearing about this and hearing about this and hearing about this. And they're saying that these beings down there under the pyramids have these bright blue eyes, which to me kind of trips me out too. Is it's like, have they been going around kind of like in ghost figure or something, like their souls outside of their body that's in this stagnant kind of state of, it's always this certain word, but it's one of those words where I can't hear it and see it close enough, but a certain state of them, this, it's like this state of in-between or something. So if they're out here, you know, and they're stuck in, I don't know, the people are trying to hide the past or something, have trapped them or something. And, but they've been trying to communicate with us. But there's been tons. Like, I had that one guy come to me in that one, when the eye thing first started. And it was, and I talked about it. I was like, I shut my eyes, and all of a sudden I was at a mall, and I was looking around, and it was just this busy mall, and I see this guy way across the thing, and he caught my eye. He looked like he was really handsome with his silver hair and these bright blue eyes. And so it caught my eye because everybody else kind of just looked like dark, not like shadows, but like not as much form, not as much color. And so you're looking through all of these people, and all of a sudden you see this one, and it's like very formed, and these bright blue eyes and this silver hair, and or golden or something. Is I don't think it's like hair that's drained of its minerals. It's like a hair that's supposed to be this color. It was very shimmery hair. And as soon as I noticed him, as soon as I locked eyes with him, he zoomed up. Like, it was trippy. He zoomed up so fast and so close, and I opened my eyes real quick, like, fuck, man. That, but his eyes were so bright blue. And I've heard so many people saying somebody's bright blue eyes. But it's like, I wonder if they've been sitting here trying to communicate with us, trying to say, tell us the truth, tell us something. I was like, man, that's so interesting. Because there's a whole bunch of people who keep saying, having these weird things in dreams and in meditations and stuff with these people with these bright blue eyes. And it was another one besides these ones under the pyramids where I heard something about the bright blue eyes, and I don't remember what it was. Yeah, some whistleblower thing. I don't know. People in the tunnel. I don't remember. There's so many different things nowadays that you just hear so much stuff. There's just so much stuff. And but anyways, this thing with the bright blue eyes really seems to be keeps rotating and keeps going through, like where I said, like always look for like this crossover, like you hear this from them and then these totally other people that don't have anything to do with them. Because you got to watch out, because sometimes like you can hear something and you think, oh, I've heard this so many times, it's got to be the truth, but it's just circulating through a certain group of people. So it's when you want to hear it, when you hear it from all these different groups, then it's more of like, okay, this is probably for real. And then some things you can just like just know, like some of this stuff is for real, you just know it inside of you. And so anyways, I don't know, but I think definitely there's going to be some bright blue beings, but again, you got to watch out who you interact with in your dreams, because then it's like once they have your attention, then they can keep coming back in. And then also, though, people don't realize like they've got communication going. So they can be telling you shit and you're communicating with you. And if you don't have the awareness, this is someone else talking to you, you just think, oh, well, these are my thoughts, my weird thoughts, my racing thoughts. Why am I thinking that? Why do I do that? Why do I think that? That's where you gotta start stopping and asking yourself, so you can realize like, oh, this isn't even me thinking this. This is somebody's telling me this and talking to me. And the lower vibration ones that will do that, that will fuck with you like that, they aren't, um, they aren't going to be giving you the best information and stuff. They aren't going to be like, oh, well, I've got this ghost friend that comes and talks to me. Like, I don't know, because to me, when these ones started talking to me, I was just really little. And then they just talked to me. Like, and it seems for sure, like when I was a kid, a lot of it would be like the questions, like when I would be questioning, and religious was a strong thing in my life growing up. And so it would be, and we had to go to Sunday school and all that stuff. And so it would be, they would be telling me something, and then the other beings would start telling me something different in my head and would tell me they're wrong and this different stuff. And so they would tell me, you know, they were telling me we were a science experiment, that we're like a zoo and stuff like that. And that it's not from Adam and Eve. Like they would just tell me that the stories that I was being told were wrong. And so then I would try and tell people, I would say, oh, yeah, but the people telling me, I don't even remember what I used to call them. I think I would just say the people talking to me. And I would say, they said blah, blah, blah. They said blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. That's not true, but nobody really gave it much mind. Nobody really listened to me. Nobody really paid any attention. But then it was more as I went on in my life, that it was more like problems would happen in my life and they would talk me through that kind of stuff. Like it wasn't just then telling me all the time what was wrong. It was me questioning more of like, why is this happening? Why is that happening? And sometimes information, like I would be led to read books. Like I feel definitely like I was led to go more into being spiritual at a young age and reading about self-help and reincarnation and all these weird things that people thought I was so weird to look at and read about when I was young, when other people are doing other things. But it was because, it wasn't like they were forcing me or something, but it was like, it was my life path, it was my life journey. But anyways, when they were talking to me, it wasn't, and it was little things too. It would just be I don't know, like you would see it in pictures or something. Uh, but it wasn't like they were, I didn't see, I don't know how to explain it. Because they would just say things like, well, you're in a zoo, you're being watched all the time. And, and I knew it strong enough. I don't remember all this stuff, but you know, the being watched all the time. Like I knew it. I knew we were being watched all the time. And so when you know you're being watched all the time, it definitely can make you do things differently. Like you sit there and think, oh, do I want everybody to see me do this? Do I want, and it can fuck with your head because then you can start being like, oh, you're taking a shower, you're being watched. You're going to the bathroom, you're being watched. You're picking your nose, you're being watched. Every fucking thing you do, you've got an audience. And so, and then that can drive you insane, which I kind of see like with germs and stuff where people become germaphobe because we got it all around us all the time. But if you focus on it too much, it'll drive you crazy. So it's the same thing. You know, you focus too much on we're being watched, but we're being watched. And that to me, when I see people do things that's like, oh, I don't know, do you really want to do that? And yeah, it's kind of like Trump getting it on film. It's on film, everybody saw. It's like everybody's seeing now. So, but they're not judging you, you know, like how we judge ourselves or how we judge each other. Like, well, that's kind of pervy. They don't care. They're not looking at it like that. But anyways, mine were like marketing themselves as telling me all this stuff. It was just like they were just giving me other information, and I just kept seeing. And I believed theirs. I don't know what I always believed them. I always believed the ones that were talking to me, and so but I've seen it play out throughout my life, like, and they were there for me. It wasn't like they were trying to trick me, or this is the long game, man, I'm telling you, because they've been here for a long fucking time talking to me. But the but um the what was something that was just coming into my mind, because talking to me, helping me through things, and oh yeah, because that was be like where I didn't know things. Or I noticed when I was a little kid, like I never had to use an alarm clock because I would just tell them, wake me up. I would just say, okay, wake me up at 6 in the morning. And then I would always wake up and it'd be 1 minute till 6. And if I couldn't find something, I would always just ask them, well, where's this? And they would tell me. Then they would also tell me things like, you know, just like what my mom was saying when she said, you know, that they'll tell you things, and if you don't listen and you do something different, you always regret it. Just like things like, you know, to me, it always stands out to me as like, well, take an umbrella. I think, oh, you look outside, it's not raining, I don't need an umbrella. So you're just like, I'm not taking it. And then you leave and you go and you find yourself stuck in a rainstorm standing outside. And it's like, I knew it. I knew I should have listened every time. But it just to get you to tune in more. Like, what'd you say? What'd you say? What'd you say? Because you start seeing like, oh, they're trying to keep you on track. And so I don't know if it's my guides, my higher self, these other beings or whatever. I don't know who all's been talking to me my whole life, but it wasn't like an ego thing. It wasn't like, oh, look, I've got all the answers. This ghost character has come into my life to tell me what to tell you guys. Because so much stuff that I hear these people saying, it's like, I don't know. And I think this whole thing getting us caught up on dates and stuff is just to get us beat down, which that would be coming from the dark energy. The light energy wants us to be more, independent is strong in my mind, but more peaceful in our nature, more peaceful, where we feel like there's nothing to fear, there's nothing to be scared of or worried about, where we can find peace, because it's a very different way of living when you live a life of peace, or when you live a life and, you know, cortisol overrun and, you know, stressed out all the time. And that's what they do to us. They keep us stressed out all the time. They keep people fighting. They keep people arguing. They keep one disaster after another. They're catastrophizers, man. Everything is a catastrophe. Everything is a disaster. Nobody can get along and all this shit. But it keeps people stressed out and stuff. So you're not getting to live a life of peace, and they are creating the interference that takes away your peace. But you have to be in the journey or the exploration of wanting peace, of wanting better. And so that's why it's such a big thing about all this attack of sickness. But you see the two distinct kind of areas, because you take one as responsibility of like, you're going to change your lifestyle. You're going to start taking care of yourself. You're going to, pay attention to the things that are healthy for you. And then other ones are just like, well, I'm going to keep doing the same thing. The doctors will give me what I need. They'll tell me what I need to do. And they just keep living this life that is not healthy, and putting it on the doctors to cure them. And it's each person. It's like a chain. It's this mind, body, spirit thing. It's like connecting to yourself, knowing your own power, and going towards health, and health will come towards you. And so you have to, most people need to change their whole entire lifestyle. Just like when you go listen to this dietitian guy, it's like, fucking hell. It's like we shouldn't be eating any motherfucking thing. And like, I'm a total sugar freak. Like, I'm constantly eating sugar, and they constantly say, oh, that's the worst. That's the worst. You shouldn't be eating that. And then there's a part of me is like, yeah, but are we here to enjoy some things? Are we here to like things and love things and be like, well, I love candy, so I'm going to eat some candy. But you don't want to indulge. That's the thing, is you've got to keep balance. But I don't see how we're not here to experience the things that was created for us to experience. Everything wasn't created for us to just say, nope, that's not good, that's no good. It's just right now we're at this period of time in this multi-layer system of needing to focus more on our health and the independence of like, well, they say go ahead and do this, but look at everybody's dying from it, everybody's sick from it, and everybody's overweight, everybody's got diabetes and heart disease. So maybe I should do something different and start focusing on what you can do different, changing your lifestyle. And that's one thing too, is where you get these people who are super obese, and they go on these diets. That's the bad thing about diets. Is you can't just go on a diet and then lose weight and then go back to your lifestyle. You're just going to go back to the same thing. You have to literally change your lifestyle. You have to do things different. And most things about weight is you need more activity, and you need to be more mindful of what you're consuming. And, like I said, there needs to be a sense of guilt or something that stops you from overindulging to get you to just take what you need. And, but they put all this stuff, this tasty stuff in our food so that people overeat, because it's like it's part of the program. They want people to overeat and become unhealthy and sickly, because that's what this whole place is. This little science lab experiment that we're trapped in. It's like, yeah, I hear Elvis, that song, trapped in a whatever. But it isn't really a trap, because we really do have free will. We really come here out of our own ego mania, I think. But then we leave here. This isn't somewhere we're really trapped. We leave here. Even if people are, coming back because they feel pressure, then there's still, people are coming back all the time. But anyways, we're in a time of change. We're in a time where this whole thing's falling apart, and so it doesn't really matter who was here on purpose, who wasn't here on purpose, everything is changing. And so everything is just like, just looking at it deeper, kind of letting go of some of this stuff. I hope I'm making sense, because it's just like, but it makes sense to me. Like, I can see it, but there is just this whole like world, this whole way of living that you just got to let go of. But it's not to judge it and say it was wrong or anything, because it had its place, it had its purpose. Everything has a purpose, everything has a place in time. But it's just that now we're leaving it behind, so we have to reevaluate. And in our reevaluation of all this shit that's bad for us, we're not moving that stuff forward. removing and stuff that's good for us, but we all have to figure out for our own independent individual selves what is good for us. We can't just go like, well, that works for him, so it's obviously going to work for me. We have to just be willing to try things and see what works for us, because that periodic table, we're all made up of all this stuff, and you may need a little bit more of this and a little less of that, but it's for you to figure out, because these motherfuckers aren't going to tell you what's good for you. They're just going to try and sell you something. It's going to make you worse. I saw this woman yesterday, and she was just saying it in words. At the end of her video, she started talking, but she said something like, why is it every time I bring up, nicotine, everybody freaks the fuck out and starts attacking me and telling me I'm crazy and all this stuff? There's a whole bunch of people who are talking about it. Like, it's definitely Nick has got his place in time on the stage right now. There's a lot of people talking about it. And she said, why are all these people freak the fuck out? But then she gets out her pill bottles. She had way more than me. Like, I was on 18 pills. They have this lady, like on 40 or something. She just bringing out pill bottle after pill bottle after pill bottle. Just fills her counter with all these pill bottles and says, but this is normal. This is acceptable. Like, all of the people accept this. But you bring up this little thing and then that's crazy talk. And it's just like, yeah, that's how flipped upside down our world is. If you are taking all these chemicals, then you're obviously smart and you understand science. It's like, but really, there's a part of, like, I guess, to understand the creator, the creation, the natural side of life. And that would be the part of, knowing that, because all this stuff that they bring up, they get attacked, just like this dietitian guy who was talking. He said, he's on YouTube too, and he's like, you have to talk in code. You definitely can't talk about the CA. They will shut your shit down. And so everybody is out there talking in code about this stuff. But he's whatever I was gonna say. There's these there's cures and stuff, but we're not going to find them in those little bottles. Those little bottles only make more problems. The things where we're going to find things that actually help us is in the natural, from the creator, from the God force or whatever. And because there's so much complexity to all of this stuff. There's a lot of complexity to people's perspective of God, and just like God would bring us to these things, but he would make there be some people in the wrong bodies, some people broken, some people this, and like God doesn't know for sure what he's doing. He's given us all this stuff to have here on the planet, but some of it we're not supposed to have and stuff. Like, I don't know. To me, it's like the creator knows what the fuck it's doing, and we're a part of it. It's not like, there's this God force up there and he's like, well, you're going to go down there and you're going to go play this part. No, I'm telling you right now. And if you don't do it right, you're going to hell for the rest of eternity. That's what you're doing. It's like, it's like this militant idea of what existence is or something. But it's, but everything is to find our own balance and stuff. And and there's more. This was another confirmation, another thing, because everybody's talking about these plants now, which I partake, and that not only is they're finding the spray with the blue, but now the whistleblowers coming out saying that then when they go in to spray their products, because what did I say yesterday, and what did I say years ago, is that once the government has it, like, okay, well, we're going to make it legal, but you have to have a license. Those licenses are $100,000, by the way. And, but you have to have a license. And so then you pay all this money, but what you're paying for is for their control over you. You get to not go to jail, but you're going to do what they tell you. And you have to use certain products because it's for our safety, it's for our health, and they're protecting us. That's what they're doing. And so they're protecting us by having you spray certain chemicals. Well, those people are coming out saying that they have to go in with hazmat suits. They're spraying this shit down. they're in hazmat suits, and then we're going to smoking it. Which another one I just saw was a surgical tech person, or somebody, a surgical nurse or whatever, and she said, she put out a cry, please, to all the people, stop vaping. Please, please stop smoking the oil. Well, confirmation, what did I just say recently about the smoking the oils? And I don't even remember what all I was saying, but how I was seeing it was this like goop going in and then it hanging on like the alveoli and stuff. And I can't remember the whole thing and how I was seeing it, but whatever I was saying. So this lady said, yeah, that it is, she's going in and she said you can tell somebody who vapes real quick. And she said that it only takes a couple years and all that. It seems like a vapor, but no, it goes straight as in and turns into oil. Just think of how like you can have your coconut oil and it's all hard there, and then you know, a hot day you come back in and it's liquid form. So it just changes forms, but it goes back to its creamy texture once it gets inside of you and reaches the temperature. And so all these people are got this oil that is all over in their lungs, which that also holds on to, I don't remember what she said. I don't think she said bacteria, but it's making all these pustules and stuff. And people are having to go get parts of their lungs removed now from this stuff. So anything you take, you need the purest form. And on everything, we need the purest form on everything. It's like butter, you know. We just need the basics, and they mess with the basics too. But on the plants, you just want the plant. The plant is what's healthy. But then you also have to watch out, because then I saw a guy who was talking about, because there was a huge amount of people that was smoked all the time. But to me, it was a different kind of smoking. They smoked all the time, kind of like to just hide from life. And then as the awakening started happening, they started getting really paranoid and really weirded out, and they couldn't smoke anymore. I can't even tell you how many people I know, they just dropped it, just like, fuck, man. No way, I can't smoke. And so I don't know what beings were coming and talking to them, but they all dropped it real quick. And I don't have any of that stuff happen. Yeah, I've got chemicals. Like, we're just breathing in all these chemicals. Some smoking in all this. So definitely have these chemicals. But the Mullein tea, don't forget to take your Mullein tea, because it keeps keeping your lungs clean. And keep away from these oils and shit, putting in this other crap, because there's enough to worry about with all the chemicals and stuff. But you want to use plant, but see, now they've got control over the plants and they make it illegal. All their shit is so fucking absurd. That's why we have to break free from all this shit. Like, oh, you can't grow. Like, oh, well, if you have certain illnesses, you can. Like, because I had glaucoma and a brain injury, I could go get my own thing, so I'm allowed to grow like 6 plants or something. And so, and I have gotten seeds before, but I didn't have much luck. But my house is also really dark over there. But the thing is, to get the license, like, it used to be easier, and people got them easier. But now you have to go to a doctor and have them say that you need that. Well, no. Well, if you can find one, then more power to you. But trying to find one is an ordeal. A doctor who will say that, yeah, you need this weed license, whatever. So you have to go to a naturopathic one, and some of them aren't even signed. So it would make it way harder for any of this stuff for us to just grow our own stuff, so we can keep out of the government bugging assist. And so, and then when you're not doing it under their guise of what's legal and what's not legal, then you're a criminal. It's just absurd, you know. And we all have to keep coming together and standing up for what's right and standing against what's wrong, because they'll just keep pushing us and pushing us and pushing us. And the blind people, or the people who are just caught up in the 3D sense of just pleasing the people in control, then they just keep going in a certain direction. But the direction is going to become very uncomfortable, and some roadblock is going to happen that's going to flip everything. So I don't know when. I mean, it could be today. Today could be the day. Oh yeah, my mom's traveling on Easter Sunday. I don't know why that weirds me out, but there was another person I just saw, and they said they were there was a woman, either she did a video or it was her friend, and then she was talking to him. I don't remember, but she was flying, and she said their plane suddenly dropped, and then they pulled it back up. But the girl who was talking about it was saying, it's just like in that movie. And she started going into all that because there's so many people who start noticing, like, oh my God, this is happening. This is happening. Is this happening? Is that, they're all talking about, like, trying to figure out what the fuck is happening. But I'm telling you, you just go out and look at this motherfucking sky, and it's like, dang, man, I don't know about this flying business. Like, it's too creepy. And the atmospheric change. And the other day, there was a plane that went by, and the sound went with the plane. It seemed all perfectly fine. Then the next day, a plane went by, the sound was completely off from it. So to me, there is like so much shifting, and you could hear it. It was like that plane was gone for so long, and you could still hear it. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on up there? So, I don't know. Again, to me, it looks like these merging of these different solar systems or star systems, or which to me would be these different realities, these different realms of us, is a vibration thing that's just bringing everything together. And so I could totally be, we're going to come together with these other realms and these other beings, maybe all these ones we think are up in the sky aren't just here visiting us. Maybe they're in their own sky, but our skies are all merging. I don't know. We'll have to see. And you can't just necessarily believe all the things that, no matter who's talking to Ashtar and the Galactics and the Archangels and all that stuff, because that one guy, all the way back from the 70s or the 90s or whatever, said that all those people or all those beings are there to keep us in this bubble. They're here is like to police this form, this life form, or whatever you want to call it, this experience place. Because that's what everything is about experiencing it. It's about the soul is just in a state of experiencing. And experiencing through its own self gives it perspective, gives it the ability to see its own self, its own shadow too. Yeah, we get the ability to see our own shadow, but so many people don't want to look at their shadow. But so many people are going to be forced to look at their shadow because it's going to become too uncomfortable. The shifts are going to keep forcing people to do the things that make it hard. Somebody doesn't want to leave a job. I don't want to go look for another job. I hate this job. I'm stuck. Well, the universe is going to kick your ass out of that job. And then you're going to sit and whine and cry because things are hard. But it's like, well, we got something way better for you up here. You got to get the fuck out of here. And that's what life is all about. I'm telling you, we stay stuck in things that aren't good for us when there's something good for us right up ahead. But we think that we've got to keep ourselves stuck here because we got to take control of the situation. We need to do what needs to be done and stuff. I'm like, no, we really just need to get with the flow of life. We just need to let life happen. We're here to experience life as it happens. But then we get into this perplexity of trying to control it. When really we need to just sit back and let it just happen. Like, yeah, it's kind of like going to the movies and then you're trying to control what's going to happen in the movies. We need to just sit back and enjoy the entertainment, enjoy what we're seeing, and then what things affect us to go in and heal them or look at them deeper, or, question yourself, well, why does this bother me? Why does that bother me? Because there's a reason for it. There's a reason for everything. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a reason. There's no accidents. There's no... there's synchronicities, but there's no of the other thing that people always think like, oh, well, that's consequence, or that's a, whatever. They always just look at it as like, well, like, but no, it's supposed to happen that way. Everything has a time and a place. Everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. It isn't just like, oh, well, this accidentally lined up that day. Isn't that crazy? No, everything in life lines up all day long. That's what's crazy. It's so perfectly timed, and people ignore it. They ignore the magic of where they're at. They get caught up in what makes them sad. And so, anyways, that's this whole evolution of self, this whole modern miracle of us moving into this other existence, this other state of mind, this other state of being. And so yeah, it's our participation. It's how it's people's participation is where they will be in the thing. So, like I said, there's a lot of people who started waking up and then they just went into, hey, I'm better than you, I'm smarter than you, you're a bunch of stupid asses, and look at what I've done, and you're stupid. Got into that. They're not fully awake. So they'll see that soon. The people who are just out fighting against stuff, and there's just so many people who just aren't awake. There's not a whole lot of people who just are seeing all the stuff. I don't know how many. I mean, it could be 100,000, could be 100, could be 1,000,000. I don't know. We'll see though. We'll see soon, because there will be when the light comes on. But I know it's way more people who don't see. That's the thing, because that is one thing I'm always shown. It's like this thing of all these people, and then there's these outsiders, and they're looking the other way. So the outsiders, but most of the people are looking in the same direction. Then you have the outsiders, the ones that are looking in the other direction, and they're the ones that keep trying to say, keep trying to tell the other people, but everybody's looking in the other direction and they don't see it. But when the lights come on, all of a sudden there's a shift. There's a shift of what direction people are looking, and they all start looking, and they end up looking towards the outsiders. They end up looking towards the outsiders. I don't know how many outsiders there are, though. That's something that will be revealed when the lights come on. Then we'll see. I think, I think there's a lot, and I think that it's the same thing as what's happening to me. They're just being repressed or held in the dark because of the timing, and then when the right time comes, there's going to be a flood of it. There's going to be a flood of this other thing, of these people, like, they're out here doing all of these things. Like that guy, he has a lot of people following him and stuff, but there's going to probably be way more. There's going to be just a huge change of circumstance, a huge change on what people want to learn about when all of a sudden they're facing and they see things different. So, and it's right up ahead. I don't know what day, what time, that's only known in the story knows, but, and there's tons of people trying to find out, what day, what time. But see, days and times come and go and come and go. And there's beings that are telling people, but it can, I don't know. I just feel like we'll definitely know the day and time once it happens. Then we'll be able to look at it and put it all together. But trying to see it as it's coming, it's just like trying to read the signs and stuff, and trying to listen. Just don't get down. You just see, like it's like playing a game. It's like playing a game. Well, it could be tomorrow. Look, got this happening, but whatever, it's coming. This big change of our civilization is coming, and we have a lot of things happening in the interim that are moving everything in this other direction. So it's just going to be a lot. It's like there's like a lot of stuff going, but it's like it all merges. Oh yeah, okay. It's like it all merges into this one canal. It's going to be dramatic. Whatever is going to happen, it's going to be dramatic, because it's very scattered right now, and everybody's looking in the wrong direction. But something happens, and everybody's suddenly looking in the right direction, and it's like this. It's like a pregnant belly or something. It's this huge expansion. So, anyways, we'll see. Just don't get down, or just keep on working on you. That's the most important thing, I'm telling you. All this stuff going is the focus to be on you and your mental health, and how to take the best care of yourself, and it keeps sickness away, all of those things. And also finding joy in life, enjoying eating a candy bar if you want to. Not always be like, well, it's bad for you, it's bad for you. Like, how many things in life are we going to be going around? It's bad for you. It's bad for you. It's bad for you. Like, there is things that are bad for us, but also there's things that are here for us to enjoy, even if they've, because real natural cacao, or whatever the plant it comes from is really, really good for you. So they always take things that are good for us and they turn it into shit. So anyways, sugarcane too. I saw those girls in Africa. They were just walking around, as they go live all the time, and they're just walking around eating sugarcane for breakfast. So I don't know. It's what they do in the process and stuff, especially for us Americans. And oh yeah, there's some weird shit going on over in England, or I don't know. There's something about that they're going to. There's all sorts of crazy shit going on everywhere. Just crazy shit, and all the crazy shit that happens in your physical environment is there because you're there for that. You're there for that. Whatever. Everything is to show you how you feel about things, like what you stand for, and how you feel about this and how you feel about that, and what changes you want to make. And everything is super, super crazy right now to kind of lean us into the right direction. So it's got to be like, oh, that's horrible. So yeah, we're going in the other way. Which the one girl, the horrible, tragic, horrible, sad story about the one little girl and her monster of a dad. It was just her birthday. So all the horrific shit he did to her was right before her birthday. But I just saw a picture of somebody, of the corner. I don't know if it's where she lived or where she died or what it was. But oh my God, people came out. There's so many balloons. That was beautiful. It just makes me want to cry just seeing it. Another martyr of a girl. She brought a lot of attention to. It's horrible. I mean, her dad, I don't even know what the stuff is, but there's so many horrible, horrible things happening. But yeah, that got a lot of attention. Man, and that really was maybe her thing is about being a martyr for unity, bringing all these people together under. It's sad that we keep coming together over horrible tragedies and shit. But we're gonna come together and do better. Like, things are gonna get better. That's all I know. This is just a temporary learning period of time in humanity, and things are gonna get much better. But we got to go through this. So there's no way around it. Even though you've got all these people who think that they can just jump over it and get to their good life, I'm waiting to see. I guess we'll see. When we get to the good one, we'll see how many people are waiting. Well, I jumped past. I've been waiting here for you guys all this time. Well, we're here learning. We're here growing. So make sure that you learn how to love yourself, because it's important, and learning how to love everybody, because it's just as important, and learning how to have a loving, good day, the day you want, is the day you can have. You just got to learn how to do it. So work on all those things. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong. So we'll talk about it again tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.